see if I can find it on here. Make sure everything's. See this? Usually it's already working by the time that thing quits. Hey, it's 6 o'clock. Anybody out there, tell me if you can hear me. See if we got it on the phone here. I know, man. It's horrible. Anybody out there, tell me if you can hear me. It ain't popping up on mine yet.
I've never even done a live video.
You about to. I believe it. I believe it's on. I believe it's live, but my phone just ain't doing it yet.
So I'll be able to see people's comments and stuff like that.
There we go. They hear you. They hear you. It's on. So hey, it's 6 o'clock. Yeah, you ain't got to pay no attention. I mean, you can right here's the camera. So hey, it's 6 o'clock. We are coming to you as always. Motivational Monday, whatever you want to call it. Here's what we want to do. We want to be an encouragement and be a light to anybody out there struggling. It might not even be people in addiction. You might have depression. You might have anxiety. You might be a family member that's just looking for just a ray of hope to not give up on your kids. And here tonight we've got one. I love this brother, and he knows that. And we haven't always done right. Didn't meet each other right. We used to meet each other on the side of the roads, and man, I remember I used to couldn't wait to get to where Brandon was because he had something I wanted. And guess what? Well, it's no different tonight, except for God's what he's got tonight. God's what he's going to share. We're not doing the bad things we used to do anymore. We're getting together to encourage, uplift, and exhort one another, our brothers and sisters. And my brother's got a story to tell, and I'm excited to hear that along with you all. So, hey, as always, we want to thank Stan for allowing us to do this. My boss, Trent Coffee. Also, Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services for allowing us to do this type of thing. Just to get the word out that people do recover, that, it's not a life sentence. There is hope. And I think Brandon's going to get into a little bit of that tonight about, what do you do afterwards? Getting sober seems to be a little easier. Yeah. Staying sober, that took a little bit. But our brother's got some stuff to talk to y'all about, and I'm going to get out of the way. I want to let you know that I love you. Be sure to leave a like, share, comment on our brother, encourage him. This ain't easy, folks. If you can just imagine getting on and telling people that you haven't always been who you are today, well, that's not easy. This is his first live video, so be sure to encourage our brother, lift him up in prayer. Just hit your knees real quick as he starts, and pray for him. Pray the word goes out, and I'll see y'all when he gets done. I love you, Dave.
All right.
He's got legs, so just come a little bit forward.
Okay. Glory to God. This is the first live video I've done. I'm used to looking at a crowd of people when I'm talking. All right. So, my name is Brandon Edmonds, and I want to tell you a little bit about my story and hopefully bring hope to the hopeless, and for those that are struggling, that there is hope, and it's never too late. Okay, I know a lot of times people think because they've done all these bad things and done these drugs and hurt a lot of people and things like that, that there's just no hope. God don't love me because I've done this and I've done that. And I want you to know today that God does love you, and you've not done too much, and it's not too late. All you have to do is just surrender your life, give your life to Christ, and allow him to do what he does. And that's exactly what I did. So starting, let's see, at a young age, I got mixed up, just smoking weed and doing the normal thing back then. And I got mixed up with the wrong crowd. And after a few years of smoking weed and things like that, I got into selling drugs. I sold drugs for a long time. As Randy talked about, in the beginning, I used to meet him quite a bit, and that's how we came to know each other, actually. And Eventually, I got introduced to pain pills, and I started doing pain pills here and there. Of course, in the beginning, it wasn't a big deal, it seemed like to me. Um, but eventually, uh, it took a hold of my life, and it was just all downhill from there. Eventually, I started after I went through a bunch of jobs and things like that, and I couldn't afford to keep my addiction, the pills and everything that I was doing. I couldn't afford it, so I started to rob and steal and manipulate my family, my friends. I eventually burnt every single bridge as far as it goes with my family and my friends. I burned every bridge, and it got to where my family didn't even want me around, and I wasn't even allowed to go to their house and things like that. Like I said, because I had stole from all of them, and just I was a piece of crap. I got to the point to where I would do whatever it took to get my next fix. Um, I eventually started, using the IV. I've done that for about a year, and there towards the end of my road, I caught a aggravated robbery charge on a gas station, and I ran from the police, and got mixed up with all that, and I went to jail, and I was in jail. I was only in jail the first time there for a couple of days, and I got out. I was out on bond, and like I said, I was at this point, I was doing anything it took to get my next fix. So I stole some things, and I pawned them while I was out on bond. And I remember my lawyer calling me one day and said, "Hey, when you come to court in a couple of days on the aggravated robbery charge, um, you're gonna be arrested because you have a warrant for theft." And I said, "Okay, I'm not coming to court." So I didn't go to court, and after that, I was out. I was on the run. So I was on the run for a few months, ripping and running, living that lifestyle of hell and destruction, hurting people, doing all kinds of drugs, just. And then the bounty hunters picked me up, and I went to jail. And this is where when I got locked up this last time, uh, this is when it all really started. The God really started doing a work here. I remember I called my dad, and I called my dad, and I remember telling him that if he didn't come get me out, that I'd kill myself in here and all this stuff. Like I said, I was so strung out at the time, and I told him I'd kill myself. And I remember him telling me, he said, "Son, this is what you need." And he hung up on me. And in that moment, I knew that, I hurt, the person that I loved so much, and that I cared so much for. And I got so broken at that point in my life that I didn't know what I was going to do. I had thoughts in my head that I would just, that I would kill myself, and because I was at that point to where I thought that I had done, all of these wrong things, and that, there was just no hope for me, that I had ruined everything, and it was just no point, for me to stay alive. So I'm sitting in jail, and after a few months, I had time to dry out from the drugs and get, somewhat clear headed. And I finally started talking to my dad again while I was in jail. And he could tell that in my voice that, that I was ready to change. And I remember telling him, I don't care what it takes, what I have to go through or how long it is. I want to change my life. And while I was in jail, I got into this program, and I remember talking to the guy that was over it, and telling him that, hey, I just want to do this program here, and I'm going to get out and do a little 30-day program, and I'm just going to go back to work and things like that. And he looked at me and he said, son, he said, you don't need no 30-day program. He said, you need Jesus. And like I kind of laughed at him at that point, but that stuck with me. I started thinking, what do I got to lose? At this point, I had lost everything. I had burnt every bridge of my family, and I was like, why not try something new? Why not try something different? So I remember I was on the phone with my dad after I had been locked up for quite a while, and he told me, he said, son, he said, I found a program. It's a faith-based program. It's in Pigeon Forge. It's called Life Changers Outreach. He said, what do you think about it? And I was like, yes, I'll do it. I want to do it. And it's like he almost was maybe talking me out of it, or he was like, are you sure you're going to be able to, commit to a year-long program? And like I said, I told him, I don't care what I have to go through, how long it takes. I was so broken at that point in my life. And if you're struggling right now and you're watching, or if you're going to watch this later, you get to that point in your life where you're broken, and that you get to that point to where you're sick and tired of sick and tired. And you cry out to God and ask him to come into your life and make a way. If you're broken and you're sincere in your heart, he'll do it for you. And that because that's what I did. I was so broken, and I was crying out, God, please open the door, make a way, for me to, be able to change my life and do right. So I was able to go to court, and this is all a God thing, how all of this panned out, because I didn't even have a bond. They wouldn't give me a bond because I was a flight risk. And I went to court, and they were, my lawyer presented it to them, and they were like, oh, we don't think so. This program's not going to do anything, for Brandon, because they had me on video of me robbing this, store. So they denied it that first time, and then I went back, and the judge was like, okay, all right, I'll give you a bond, and you can go do this program, but it's not going to help you, So, but like I said, I was to the point where I just wanted to do something to change my life. So I left, and I went into the program. It was the best decision that I had ever made. I remember when I walked in, and I seen everybody praising the Lord, and raising their hands and stuff like that, and I was like, no way, man, this ain't for me, And but I noticed something in those men that I was watching. I noticed that they were filled with happiness and joy, and they had something that I wanted. Okay, because here I am, I'm just filled with bitterness and anger and hate and sadness and all these things. And like I said, I wanted to try something new. So I stuck it out and gave it a shot. Like I said, I asked God, to come into my life, and to take it all the way. And I was sincere in my heart. I know probably a lot of you are saying, well, I've done that before. I've said that before. But did you really mean it? Was it sincere? Was you sincere in your heart when you were saying those words? And I was sincere in my heart when I said those words, and God radically touched my life, man, and delivered me from all everything. Don't even have a desire for a cigarette. I mean, anything like that. And but as I was still facing that time in prison. They wanted me to do it was like 18 years at 18 at 85. And after I was going back and forth to court while I was in the program, and the last time they kept offering me 18 at 85, and then they were like, okay, 16 at 85, and I kept telling them no. And then the last offer was like 10 at 30, and I told them no, that we'll just go to trial. And this whole time, my dad's telling me, just have faith, son, just have faith. I kept telling him that, we need to get a lawyer, a paid lawyer, all this, that, and the other. And he was like, no, just have faith. You're this public defender. He'll be able to, just have faith, son. Just have faith. Like all the time, every time I talked to my dad, he would tell me that, just have faith. And not just my dad, but a bunch of people would always tell me, just have faith. Put it in God's hands. Put it in God's hands. And that was tough. That was tough because I had never done anything like that before, But like I said, I didn't have nothing to lose, so why not try something new? Why not try something different? So I did. I stood on faith, and I kept believing that God was gonna, be in control of this, and my prayer was, God, if you take this away from me, I'll forever serve you. I'll do whatever it takes, And so I ended up turning that last plea down. So we went to trial, and it was I was in trial from like 10 in the morning to probably about 7, 8 in the evening. And I remember, they played the video of me robbing the store, and we was on a little recess break there at the end, and the judge was like, hey, we're going to carry this over to the next day. And I remember telling the director at the time, the guy that brought me, to court, I told him, I was like, hey, I'm not going back. I'm going to go home with my family and spend time with them. And my lawyer ran out of the courtroom and said, hey, they reached a verdict. So I go back in, and standing up front there, they got a couple of police officers behind me. And they come out, and the judge looks at it, and he says, y'all got too many verdicts circled, so you're going to have to go back and redo it. So they went back and had to redo it, and they come back out, and the judge looks at it and asks everybody if they're ready, and we said yes. And they look at it, and they start reading it, and they found me not guilty of aggravated robbery. And I was speechless in the moment, but I knew that God had moved on my behalf, and because of the decision that I made to change my life and live for Him, and to just quit that lifestyle of hell and destruction, man, and do the right thing, He took that away from me. And and so after that, I'd been in the ministry, the program, for about 6 months. And so I went back and finished it out, and graduated and everything. And a lot of people, they'll ask me, would you ever go back and change some of the things that you've done? And my answer to that is no, because I wouldn't be the man I am today if I didn't go through the things that I've went through in my life. Since I gave my life to Christ and he delivered me from the addiction and took all that away from me, man, he has blessed me beyond belief. Like he gave me back everything that I lost, plus some. I am now the program director at the Pigeon Forge location for Life Changers Outreach. For those of you that don't know anything about Life Changers, it's a year-long faith-based recovery program, totally free for men and women. We don't take, no insurance or no tuition. It's really an awesome program. So, if it's speaking to somebody out there, or somebody that's struggling, hears that, look us up. You can give us a call at 865-403-0149. That is our intake line. But I wanted to kind of touch on this a little bit. I know a lot of people, they're like, well, getting clean, that's somewhat of an easy part, but staying that way is even harder. And like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I talk with a lot of people. I deal with a lot of people. And one of the number one things that I see, the reason people fall back into addiction after you've been clean, is that when you give your life to the Lord, having a prayer life is very important. To pray and to have a relationship with the Lord, it is very important, because I believe that's what will keep you. Jesus is the only way, and he'll keep you from it. But the thing is people will get clean and they'll stop praying. They'll stop, having that relationship with the Lord, and that they'll tend to backslide and fall back. And it's very important to wake up every day, and tell yourself, hey, I got this. I got victory in this area. I'm no longer an addict. I don't have to live that way no more. When I was coming through that program, a scripture that I really stand firm on, and it really stuck to me, it's 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, anyone in Christ Jesus is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, all things become new. And I embrace that. And, about all things become new. And that means you don't hold on to anything from your old lifestyle whenever you was living that lifestyle of, hell and destruction. You don't hold on to any of it. You let it all go. It all becomes new. And I stand on that. I say that scripture probably every single day. But I just want you all to know that it's not impossible. Okay? It's not impossible, and it can be done. I know whenever I was out there in my mess, I thought that I would die that way. I thought that, that there's no way that I would be able to stop, because, like I said, I'd done it for so long. That was my way of life. Like, I had to have it to function and things like that. And I just thought that I would die that way. But it don't have to be like that. It does not have to be like that. If you just, like I said, you get broken and you get sick and tired of that lifestyle, and you cry out to the Lord and ask him to come into your life and take it all away. And if you're sincere and it's coming from the heart, I promise you it will happen. It will happen. And, a lot of people, they pray that, or they say that, and then they sit back and they don't do anything from that point. They just sit back and pray and ask God to do this and do that, but don't do anything. But the thing is you got to walk it out. You got to walk this thing out. You can't just sit back and continue to do the same old thing. You know, the things that you're praying and stuff like that, like you have to walk them out. You got to wake up every morning and tell yourself that you got victory in this area and you got freedom in this area, and you're not that person that you used to be, the person that the world had labeled you as. You're not that person anymore. But that's pretty much what I got. I'm extremely blessed today. Like I said, because I decided to change my life. God has blessed me. I got a beautiful wife. I got 2 kids. I have a family. God restored my family. All the relationships all the bridges that I had burnt. God had he gave it all back to me. My relationship with my dad is better than ever. Like I said, every bridge that I burned, God gave it all back to me, man. It's because I made that decision to change my life, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without the Lord. I definitely wouldn't. He is my strength, man, and He is what carries me and continues, to push me, to be, a better man and a better father and a better husband. And I love it. I love this life that I live now. Like I said, I was sick and tired, and God radically changed and touched my life, man, and I love it. There's no way I would ever, turn back and go back to that lifestyle. Like I said, because I have seen the results from both ways of, not changing my life to doing the same old thing and living that way. I've seen the results of that. And then I've seen the results from changing my life and living for the Lord and doing the things the right way. I've seen the results, and those results of, living for the Lord and doing the right thing is definitely a lot better than the things in the life that I had before. So if anybody, if you don't get anything from this, man, you just need to remember that there is hope. It's not too late. It don't matter what you've done or what you've done to people or anything like that. It doesn't matter. If you cry out and you hit them knees and you cry out to the Lord and to ask Him to come into your life, and you're sincere, it'll happen for you. I promise it will. I tell my guys all the time, hey, what do you got to lose? What do you got to lose? You've either lost it all, and or you're on the verge. So why not try something new? And it's so much better, such a better life. So if anybody is wanting to change their life and they're needing some help, you can feel free to message myself, or you can message Randy. Like I said, we got a free program in Pigeon Forge, Life Changers Outreach, no insurance, and we'd be glad to have you. So I appreciate this opportunity to be able to come on here, talk for a few minutes, man, and kind of share my story and where I'm at today. I hope that it can bring hope to somebody. If you're watching and you're hopeless and you feel like you're not worthy and you're just not worth this and worth that, I promise you are. God sees you as a son or a daughter, and He loves you no matter what. And you can do this. So I appreciate this opportunity, and you all have a good night.
That's good, brother. Hey, how about that? I promise you done been a help. I've done got probation officers asking if you got brochures of your program. So I know they're out there watching. And I was sitting there listening and hearing 18 at 85. What? That don't sound too good. But when you're in that situation, they come back with another one, 16 at 85. Well, that's a little bit better. But when they come in with 10 at 30, well, that sounds real good when you first start at 18 and 85. But you see, devil's got a fake. God's plan's perfect. Man, if you'd have took 10 at 30, you'd never be here.
No.
Who knows what would have happened? But God had it lined out. You just had to hold out. You know, if God told us, I tell people all the time, if God told me his plan, I'd just mess it up. That's just the way it is. But God wants us to really, you know, one thing you said stuck with me, B. You got to say it. That's important. But you got to believe it.
Yeah.
You got to mean it. A lot of people they say even devils believe and tremble.
Yeah.
I mean, so listen, when you say, hey, listen, we're going to try something else out. You know, we're going to see. And I promise you this, you put God to the test, hey, he's held up every time. I've tried it. He's made many promises in his word, and he's stuck to every one of them. Man, I wish I could do that. I always tell people the same thing that Brandon said. If I could go back and change things, would I? No. And people don't understand that.
Yeah.
Because we've done a lot of bad things. But, man, I'm free today.
Amen.
And I feel like God has helped me, and I'm the mess and God's the message. And I feel like that God let me go through that so I could be a help to some people. And even if it's just one, if it's just one person, it's worth it. One person had faith in it. And I was thinking when he said, his dad said, just have faith, son. And I just thought, man, God says the same thing. Just have faith, son. I know it looks bad. 18 at 80 looks real bad. Just have faith. If you meant what you said, God's going to pull through for you.
That's right.
If you meant what you said, he's going to do his part. Boy, God showed off. Right. Man, I feel like God showed off in my life, and I know I can never repay it, but I sure like trying. Everybody that comes in, the picture sits right down. It's another Brandon or a Randy. Man, I just feel like I get to try again. And you get to do something else. So, hey, this man, he means it. Hey, look up Life Changers program. We're going to see if we can get some brochures to get to the lady that's already asked. And, hey, listen, how can you run a free program? God's got to be in it. He's got to be. He's got to be in it. I think I remember you saying that place started with $5,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing. And how many programs are there now?
We got 13 different locations across the United States.
13 locations.
And a couple overseas.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
And little old Brandon, nobody trusted, nobody wanted around. Yeah. God said, you know what? You did your part. So now I'm going to give you a big part. God tells us we be faithful to little. He'll bless us with a lot.
Yeah, come on. The
same program Brandon went through. Now he's over there running this thing. You know what I'm saying? God's the only one that can do that. I've seen a lot of people try, but God's the only one I've seen do it. So, hey, we appreciate you. Just leave a message. Encourage our brother. I know he's been an encouragement to you all. I love this man with everything in me. Loved him even when we were doing bad. Some reason people are attracted to Brandon. I don't know what it is, but just people have always been drawn to you. I don't know, but I believe God puts that in people. I really do. People think I'm crazy. That's all right. I've been crazy for other things, so I might as well just be crazy for God and just put it all out there. But I'm gonna talk with my brother. Hey, we appreciate every one of you tuning in, and we'll see you next Monday, 6 o'clock. I love every one of you.